All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakah Kodash. And I want to give that honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. And I want to say Shalom to those who elect you in this word in truth and in sincerity. All right. So in this lesson, as you can see before you, it's going to be pretty much the cruelty, all right, of these women, man. All right. And just to show you that the way society paints men to be, the deadbeats, or don't take care of their children. That's just a view of society, man. But you got men out there that really want to be in their child's life, but then you got shit like this that happens, and nothing is said about it. This should be all over the news. Not something that you just see on social media, man. It should be like this should be all over the news being talked about. But let it have been Jake that did something like this. Every news anchor would cover, the story. You see? But it says a mother who tragically cooked her 2 toddlers by placing them in an oven and sending their father a video of their bodies has been sentenced to life in prison. So she cooked her sons in the oven, man. And when I read the description, she put them in the oven and then heated it up, man. So that means that they suffered the agonizing pain of that heat being turned up. All right, but we understand. What I want to say first is we understand like the carnal things, the carnal side. That it was cruel that it happened, but there's also a spiritual side to it too. And that's what most people do not understand, right? This is Job chapter 4 and verse 7. You see, so these are the things that the common man or common person do not understand concerning, judgment. All right. It says, remember, I pray thee, whoever perished being innocent, or where were the righteous cut off? All right. Because you might look at these 2 boys and say, they were babies, they didn't deserve this, but you got to understand that the spirit within these 2 boys are ancient spirits. All right. So the Lord might have had that judgment happen in this lifetime, not might, but, the Lord had their judgment happen in this lifetime because, in their past life, they might have done something, to make the Lord angry, man, So he ordained in this lifetime for her to do something like that to him. So you got to look past, the incident that happened to really understand, hey, maybe, they had it coming. Because in the spirit, we know that Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, judges are on the 3rd or 4th generation, But, if you're carnal, if you're not spiritual, you're not really going to understand these things. Because those 2 boys right there, who knows, their past lifetime might have been 1920s, 30s, 40s, not too long ago, and then, hey, they're going to come back in the kingdom of heaven as newborn babes, man. If they're not of the elect. They're going to come back in the kingdom, newborn babes, righteous forever. And that's the good news. It says, Job 4 and verse 8, even as I have seen, they that plow iniquity and sow wickedness reap the same. You see? So that goes for each and every one of us, man. All right? We are ancient spirits. So therefore we came back every 3rd or 4th generation through reincarnation, man. Right? And Lord forbid Babylon doesn't go any further. All right. If we were to pass on to the spiritual realm, right, we just come back to through the seed lines of our sons. All right. If I have a son, and then he have a son, I just come back to the seed line of my son, of my sons. Okay? And that's how it works. All right, so it says, Lamora Williams was accused of deliberately ending the lives of her 2 young sons, Keontae Penn, age 2, and Jakarta Williams, age 1, by placing them in an oven and turning it on. You see? She put them in the oven and then turned it on. So they had to feel the agonizing heat, that pain of being cooked, man. It says, according to police, authorities discovered the boys with severe burns in their Atlanta home in October 2017. Williams initially told 911 dispatcher that she had returned home from work to find the children deceased and their caregiver missing, but investigators later determined this to be untrue. In a chilling 911 call, she described the scene saying, "The stove was laying on my youngest son's head, and my other son was laid out on the floor." She added, "I don't want to get locked up because this is not my fault. I had just come from work." Before contacting 911, Williams called the boy's father, Jamil Penn, and showed him the crime scene via live video, where he saw his children lifeless on the floor. Penn immediately contacted emergency services, overlapping with Williams' own report of the incident, you see. So she called the police and gave them a totally different story. All right, than what her husband said. And that's how they caught her on the lie, man. So you gotta be that diabolic, all right, to put your children in the stove, and then live stream that shit to your husband, and on top of that, the smell of dead bodies, and then we talking about heat and dead bodies coming at you, man. You recording that shit, and that shows you that it was an evil spirit on her, because any sane person or any person in their right mind, you walk into a house, and let's say you don't even know what the smell is, you just smell it, you out of there, But her, she was in that bitch, recording, taking in the aroma and shit, man. Let's go to the book of Ecclesiasticus, Sirach, verse 39, verse 28. It says, "There be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them." You see? And that showed you that this was an evil spirit at work. Because ain't no way in hell, that ain't no way that you're gonna carry all this without saying, "Oh my God," pretty much that spirit was within her, man. And then there are incidents in the scriptures where you had people possessed by evil spirits, man. And then when the evil spirits were taken off of them, they returned they returned with their right mind. You had the guy that was chained up, and because he had evil spirits on him, he was breaking the chains. And then, Yahweh Shah pretty much healed him of those evil spirits. He went to follow the Lord, and the Lord said, no altering the Lord, we refused, man. All right? But the point being is that you had incidents in the scriptures where evil spirits were, were upon people, had them do outlandish things. It's also that one. So don't think that evil spirits, getting on people is not real. I want to say it's in the book of Acts 16. Acts 16, where you had this lady, she was following Paul. Right here, the water about Shimon Shah, Acts 16:16, and it says, "And it came to pass, as we went to prayer, a certain damsel possessed with a spirit of divination," see, she was possessed with a spirit of divination, "met us, which brought her master such gain by soothsaying," and she was a witch. The same followed Paul and us, and cried, saying, "These men are servants of the Most High God," Most High Power, Yahweh, "which show us unto the way of salvation. And this did she many days. But Paul, being grieved, turned and said to the spirit, I command thee in the name of Yahweh Shai Mashiach to come out of her. And he came out the same hour. And when her master saw that the hope of their gains were gone, they caught Paul and Silas and drew them into the marketplace and to the rulers. You know, but the point being is that evil spirit possessed this lady, possessed this lady. It says damsel. All right, to pretty much follow them, for days, man. All right, crying out, saying, I'm gonna read it again. Verse 17, the same followed Paul and us and cried, saying, these men are the servants of the Most High God, which show us unto salvation. And this did she many days. So she was doing this for many days, man. But I just go to show you, her being possessed by the evil spirit, made her do this. And so going back to Sirach, 39 and 28, read that again. It says, there be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In a time of destruction they pour out the force and appease the wrath of him that made them. So when this, ultimately when this happened, this appeased the wrath of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, because like I said earlier, these two boys right here, the Lord had wrath towards them. So this happening really appeased his wrath. And once again, the average person will not understand judgment like we do through the Spirit, because we understand that this was judgment that ultimately took place. All right. And a lot more to come, where people are going to be shook at what they see, man. Let's get this real quick. In the book of Matthew 24. You think this was bad? Wait till you see what's coming. Thus say the scriptures. Matthew 24 and verse 12. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. You see? So that was cold work right there, what she did. But that's because we're living in a time where great iniquity is, man. Iniquity means sin upon sin. We're living in a world where, pretty much there's no limit to anything. Anything can happen. When I say anything can happen. People really think that, you got police, you got law and order right now, that there's some things that just won't happen. Nah, man. People are crazier now than ever. So, you can't put that behind you. This guy want to do this, that guy want to do this. Nah. We're living in wicked and evil times, man. Let's go to the book of Ephesians, chapter 5. Verse 15, it says, see then that you walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time, because the days are evil. The days are evil. Evil meaning bad times. So as I speak right now, it's somewhere in the world where, somebody's dying. Somebody's being put to death. All right. Something like this is always going on, man. So don't be surprised when you hear more articles and more news about somebody, being put to the sword, man, or going back to the spiritual realm. The judgment is happening daily. Let me get this in Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, and verse 16, and it says, and moreover, I saw under the sun the place of judgment, that wickedness was there, and the place of righteousness, that iniquity was there. You see? And the place of judgment is this earth, because up in the heavens is complete order. There's nobody dying up there. There's nobody catching hell up there. We catch hell here on earth, man. That's why Paul said he had rather been with Yahushua, because he was in the heavens for a short time, and then he came back. The Lord brought him back down here to do the work. But when Paul, was up there, he saw peace. He saw order. He said he had rather been up there with Yahushua, But let me see if I can find that real quick. Let me see. I know it's in one of the Corinthians. I'm trying to quote the scripture where he said that. No one ain't come to mind after I get this. But yeah, Paul, he went to the spiritual realm. saw the peace and order there, and he had to rather stay up there than come back down here. But for the work's sake, he had to do so. Let me see if I can find it where he says, "I knew a man." Let me see. Right here. The water Yabashim Shai. Oh, I'm talking verse 1 actually. It says, "It is not expedient for me, doubtless to glory. I will come to visions and revelations of the Lord. I knew a man in a Mashiach above 14 years ago, whether in the body I cannot tell, or whether out of the body I cannot tell. The Most High knoweth. Such an one caught up to the third heaven, which is the heaven's spiritual realm. And I knew such a man, whether in the body or out of the body I cannot tell. The Most High knoweth. How that he was caught up into the paradise, and heard unspeakable words, which it is not lawful for a man to utter." See, so he was caught up into the spiritual realm, and he saw, paradise, man. He heard unspeakable words. "Of such in one will I glory, yet of myself I will not glory, but in mine infirmities. For though I would desire to glory, I shall not be a fool. For I will say the truth, but now I forbear, lest any man should think of me above that which he seeth me to be, or that he heareth of me." And there's a point I want to get out of here. Because he's pretty much going into how, how we shouldn't boast. How he shouldn't boast because, I'm going to read it. Verse 7, "And least I should be exalted above measure through the abundance of revelations." There was, because like the scripture says, knowledge puffeth up. So Yahweh Bashim Yahushua gave Paul a great work in his ministry, ministry, to be a preacher to the Gentiles, which were the Israelite foreigners, or the Israelites among the heathen. So therefore, with the knowledge that Paul was given, to keep him humble, the Lord, gave him a thorn in the flesh, which ultimately a problem, to hinder his pride, man. Because anybody can get proud, all right? Lord revealing unto you, these secrets, and if you're not going through anything, you can get proud and say the Lord is dealing with you and nobody else. You see, it says, "Least I should be exalted above measure. For this thing I besought the Lord thrice, that it might depart from me. And he said unto me, My grace is sufficient for thee, for my strength is made perfect in weakness." All right. So ultimately, the Lord said, my grace is all you need. Shalakia. Oh yeah, I think that was the point. Let me see. Yeah, I think that was a point up there, but I thought it was something else. But Salakia, it's right. The point was right here. Where he says how in the spiritual realm, how it's paradise and unspeakable words, man. And that's what it is in the spiritual realm. And you see, and that correlates with Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter, because we're coming back here. It says that this is the place of judgment. 16, "And moreover, I saw under the sun the place of judgment, that wickedness was there, the place of righteousness, that iniquity was there." So this is where iniquity is abounding, man. This is where wickedness is happening, and it's complete opposite in the spiritual realm. And a quick note too, what Paul just described, in 1 Corinthians 12, what he just described. All right, that's what's going to be placed on earth when Yahweh shall return. That's what he's going to bring to the earth. Complete paradise, man. The unspeakable words that Paul spoke of. So this is not forever, man. All right. This got to end soon. It's going to end soon. Lord willing. Sooner than later. Lord willing. All right. Okay, so, Lord willing, this lesson is edifying. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rikakodash, and double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, And peace and blessings to those for elect, hearing this word in truth and in sincerity. Till next time, I say shalom.